Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
Most Manitobans have done their very, very best to follow the public health orders to protect themselves, to protect their families, to protect their neighbors, but it appears that too many others have made the wrong choices not to be part of the team. That needs to change.
Well, you have a warrant for your arrest under the Public Health Act.
Well, I was in shock. I admit, I'm sorry. They kind of broke me.
If you break the public health rules, there's a good chance you might get your name mentioned on TV.
I lost my job a week later. Then they came back and they brought me to another room, which unbeknownst to me, I was about to be entering a room that was going to detain me for the night. That made me very concerned because I knew I wasn't going home. Every 5 minutes, someone came banging on the window, and they did that for 14 hours. There was a greater agenda, and that agenda is of evil. It's been very comforting to know that there is true citizen journalists, there's true media that honestly understands the cause and the need for justice to be served, or at least the individual that's been attacked, in my opinion, taken care of with comfort. So they phenomenal. Rebel News has been a godsend.
In relation to her and Ms. Vickner, mainly there are charter arguments. The focus of the defense is going to be on restriction of charter-protected freedoms. It should be of concern to all Canadians, and I don't think most people realize how widespread these tickets are and how much peril they pose to people who have been ticketed.
Sydney Fizzard, junior videographer for Rebel News, and today I'm bringing you the story of Sharon Vickner, who's one of our Fight the Fines cases in Manitoba. Over the course of months, Sharon has received multiple $1,296 tickets for breaching the Public Health Act, and she's now been ticketed for well over $10,000. Her crime? Well, protesting Premier Brian Pallister's lockdowns. Now, Fight the Fines is a Rebel News civil liberties project where we connect top criminal lawyers and civil litigators with people who have received lockdown tickets to help them fight their tickets at no cost to them. We are helping Sharon with these tickets, and if you wish to support her and others who are in this exact situation, please go to fightthefines.com. And remember, all donations there now qualify for a charitable tax receipt through the registered Canadian charity, the Democracy Fund. On May 28th, an announcement was made by the Winnipeg Police in regards to 6 individuals who have remained against the lockdowns. This included Sharon.
Over a period of months, and after the issuance of multiple tickets and repeated attempts to educate, members of the Public Safety Investigations Unit obtained warrants of arrest for 6 individuals. 4 of these individuals were arrested, all of whom signed the ludicrous conditions of their release, including not to speak to other individuals who were also issued warrants. Though, before being able to sign the conditions, the majority of individuals were held for over 12 hours, some even overnight, all for something that appears to be a non-arrestable offense. All that was required was the signing of the conditions for the release, but the Manitoba government chose rather to allow for this to be a form of punishment, treating them like second-class citizens in a first-world country.
But it appears that too many others have made the wrong choices not to be part of the team. That needs to change.
Luckily, we were there to find out from Sharon herself just what transpired. As for the conditions of her release, this was a socially distanced interview, but that didn't stop us from hearing what she had to say. Sharon Vickner, what has happened to you on Friday? 5 individuals from the community, including, which many people may know, Tobias Thyssen of the Church of God in Steinbach.
That's right.
What were these warrants issued for?
Well, from my understanding, at least I can speak to what my warrant states, and it states about failing to comply to the public health orders. And while I was being detained, they had mentioned that it was based on all of the times I was seen either at a rally, promoting a rally, organizing a rally, or amongst the organizers of the rallies.
And so you went to the protest on Friday.
I did.
And then what happened from there? They actually detained you for a while.
They ended up detaining me, absolutely. Actually, prior to that, we kind of put it to the test to see if could I leave here without being, followed. And sure enough, we actually put it to the test earlier. So I went for a little bit of a walk with some people with a camera, and sure enough, they had 3 undercover women looking like they were going for jogs, following me and radioing police officers. It was quite humorous, actually, because we called them on it, and of course the police ended up walking away when we called them on it. But anyway, I digress. So yes, they did end up, I went into a vehicle that I was, a friend's vehicle, whom I went there with, and they pulled the vehicle over, and at that point, they detained me. They were calm. They treated me with kid gloves, in a matter of speaking. They did not manhandle me by any means. They listened to my requests when I asked them not to touch me, so on and so forth. But I did get detained and driven to the detention place over on York Avenue here.
You have a warrant for your arrest under the Public Health Act, okay?
Yeah.
So I need you to step out of the vehicle.
And what are you going to do when I step out of the vehicle?
I'm going to place you in handcuffs, and you're going to be under arrest.
Why are you going to put me in handcuffs? I'm not a criminal.
You have a warrant for your arrest, Sharon.
Have I committed a crime?
Yes, you have a warrant for your arrest.
I have committed a crime?
Under the Public Health Act.
I need to, hey, I'm going to cooperate. Cool. Do not touch me.
I'm not touching you. Step out of the vehicle, okay?
I'm just going to ask. Arrest, I want you to step back because you have a gun, and that scares me, and I'm not a criminal.
You're under arrest, okay? Place your hands on the vehicle, okay? When you step out of the vehicle, okay?
Put my hands on the vehicle.
No, you're going to put your hands on the vehicle.
Why?
Because you're under arrest.
I've never been under arrest.
Okay,
You have to understand. I don't know what to expect. I just don't want to be frightened.
Sharon,
that's all.
That's why I'm explaining. We'll go step by step.
Okay.
Just step out of the car. Come this way.
Are you going to allow me to take my bag?
Yeah, you can take your bag.
Okay. I don't like this. I'm not going to stop, but I don't like this. You've got to take.
Right,
I'm not going to be nasty.
I'm not touching you at all. Okay.
I know. I'm not going to be nasty.
And they didn't treat you like somebody who was just regularly detained. They put their thumb down on you, in a manner of speaking.
They absolutely put their thumb down on me, in my opinion. Again, I don't know what it's like to be a criminal. I don't know how people get treated. I honestly thought they would just treat me because I'm a freedom fighter. I thought they would look at me as a different type of individual that they're bringing in, especially if they know the kind of person I've been and how I've been presenting myself. They would know I'm of no threat in any form. For number one, when I got into the elevator, they told me to face the corner and just stay there. And I thought that was just terrible. And then that was just minor, I guess, but it was giving me a clear picture of what to expect. So when they put me in the interrogation room, they left me in that room, of course, alone, and I get that. And they pre-warned me that it's recording and camera and everything like that. I was in there for it seemed, I might be 2 hours, might have been an hour and a half. And then they had told me also that I'd only be there shortly, and then I would be taken to another room to have a discussion about what happened, and then I'd be released. A time after that, then they came back and they brought me to another room, which unbeknownst to me, I was about to be entering a room that was going to detain me for the night. That made me very concerned because I knew I wasn't going home. In that process of me being in that room, it was very cold. They were kind enough, one of the gentlemen, officers were kind enough to bring me a blanket, hallelujah. So at that point, about 2 hours later, I decided to sit down because I was in shock. I admit, I'm sorry, they kind of broke me. I'm going to admit that because I didn't know what to expect. I was in shock and I just stood there because I was shocked I was going to be staying there. Needless to say, when they got me that blanket, it warmed me up, and I managed to just cuddle up a little bit just to comfort myself. And then every 5 minutes, someone came banging on the window, and they had a little sheet of paper outside the door that they had to sign, because I watched them do it. They had to sign stating that they had been there and I guess what time, and they did that for 14 hours.
And you're no stranger to breaking the public health orders, it seems. You actually have a lot of tickets through that we're helping you with through Fight the Fines. What do you have there? That
is correct. I have, well, if I get the one for the May 15th, which initially this arrest warrant was allegedly for, I have not received that ticket yet. I have 11 tickets, and that one will be number 12.
And are these all for the same thing? What are they for? And these are $1,296 tickets?
$1,296 each for breaking the public health order. I think it's Public Act Order number 210, I believe, is what's stated on the tickets.
So you're over $13,000 now.
I have over $13,000 of tickets, which are near impossible for me to handle, because when this all started and Pallister went on the news in November stating that people are going to be named on TV.
If you break the public health rules, there's a good chance you might get your name mentioned on TV.
I lost my job a week later, and I've never been named ever on TV, but I've lost my job, so I've been unemployed since November.
And of course, we are helping you fight some of these tickets with FightTheFines.com. Has that been a good help for you? It's been phenomenal. I have to say that it's been very comforting to know that there is true citizen journalists, there's true media that honestly understands the cause and the need for justice to be served, or at least the individual that's been attacked, in my opinion, taken care of with comfort. So phenomenal. Rebel News has been a godsend. And why do you think Brian Pallister is doing this to the citizens of Manitoba? Well, I guess it would boil down to my own opinion without having to regurgitate a lot of the data and information that others have shared. I'd have to personally say this is a political move, 100%, and I make that opinion for the reason of seeing all of the posts that occur on any of the news broadcasts after he's spoken. The harsh things that the residents in Manitoba want done to people like myself, law-abiding freedom fighters with a kind heart and no criminal record. They want us dead. They've literally written that we should be killed. So why is Pallister, Bowman, and Roussin and whomever else doing this? In all honesty, my personal opinion is there is a greater agenda, and that agenda is of evil. And if you could say something to Pallister right now, what would it be? I would say, Pallister, for number one, I don't know how you can sleep at night. For two, stop this madness. Start caring about the humanity of your people and the world. Step down and allow someone that truly has compassion and understanding of true health and immune system and understanding what lockdowns and isolation does to people. Get out of government, get out of our city. And I'm quoting Pastor Archer Pulowski on the Get Out, so please, get out. To help these clients that we have in Manitoba, including Sharon, we actually have Leighton Gray. He's a top-tier lawyer that we have helping with all the Manitoba Fight the Fines clients. And could you provide us an update with Sharon Vickner's legal case?
In her case, the main thing that we're working on, and this goes for really all of these people, is they have very restrictive bail conditions right now. The main one that is problematic is there's a restriction on any of them contacting each other. And so the imposition of this very strict no contact provision is very difficult for her. And the other issue that she faces is that she's also without the support of the church. She's very devout and involved in the church. And of course, the restrictions on personal attendance at the church have been tough for her. So the main thing that we're working on for her, and also the other persons charged here, is trying to get that no contact provision changed. Without revealing too much information, how do you plan on fighting for Sharon moving forward? Mainly what's involved here in relation to Ms. Vickner is just the mask restriction. Well, in terms of preparing the defense, there isn't much of a defense to the masking restriction, other than that it does interfere with her charter protected freedoms. There is a freedom of expression issue. Obvious attendance at the peaceful protest or demonstration triggers her Section 2C charter rights in terms of freedom of association, freedom of assembly, and also her right to life, liberty, and security of the person under Section 7 of the Charter. So in relation to her and Ms. Vickner, mainly there are charter arguments. The focus of the defense is going to be upon restriction of charter-protected freedoms. The tickets themselves, as on the face of it, they are a valid law. It's pretty clear from the facts that each of these persons did the things that are described in the tickets. That's not really the issue. Much like in the Coates case in Alberta, and I'm counsel there, this is more a situation where it's obvious that these alleged offenses occurred, but the deeper question, legal question, is are these things actually illegal? Are they actually unconstitutional, these laws that restrict people's individual civil liberties? And this is something that is or should be of key concern to all Canadians, but particularly to, of course, the people who are charged in this case, and the many hundreds of people who are facing these tickets. I think most Canadians would be shocked, and I think this information is not, thank goodness for Rebel, because the mass media, the major media outlets, I won't name them, we all know who they are not making this information public. But there are many, many hundreds, perhaps even thousands of these tickets that have been written. And these tickets are not run-of-the-mill tickets. Some of these are in the many thousands of dollars. Some of the tickets carry, in the province of Manitoba, some of them carry a fine as large as $1 million. So these tickets are not a joke. They are of significant concern to the persons who were facing them. And I think it should be of concern to all Canadians, and I don't think most people realize how widespread these tickets are, and how much peril they pose to people who have been ticketed.
Well, we thank you so much for supporting Sharon with her legal fight as well. And if you individuals at home want to support that, you can go to fightthefines.com and help support these legal fees. The measures being used by the Manitoba government to allegedly protect against the coronavirus are more in line with tactics used in China to mitigate political dissidents. At least I know now why Brian Pallister has some of the lowest ratings of any premier in the country. But if you want to support Sharon and her legal fees, along with many others in the same situation, please go to fightthefines.com and help pay for her legal fees. That's fightthefines.com, and you can help fend off this medical tyranny coming to Canada. For Rebel News, I'm Sidney Fizzard. Have you been unjustly ticketed by bureaucrats handing out fines for what they say is public health and safety? Well, if that's the case, go to fightthefines.com, tell us your story, and we will help you fight these draconian lockdown tickets with our top-notch civil litigators and criminal lawyers. And if you have not received a ticket but you wish to support someone who has, go to fightthefines.com. Donate and help these people get the coverage they deserve.